Warning. Listening to this show may result in increased levels of inspiration, motivation, and innovation. Side effects can include the immediate urge to take massive action to build a better business and life for yourself and others. You've been warned. Welcome to Influencers Radio with your host, Jack Mize.
And welcome back to Influencers Radio. And today, when I first started researching and looking at the background and what our next guest does, I couldn't help but thinking, this is fantastic. I've got Wonder Woman on as a guest today. And that's what you're going to think. Believe me, if you hear what she has to say and some of the things that she helps folks do, and a lot of the folks that listen to this, or maybe you'll recognize some people that may need help with this, you're going to think Wonder Woman as well. Today, my guest is Jodie Rodenbaugh. She is the chief lifestyle agent, and you're going to understand exactly what that means here shortly. She helps highly successful business owners, CEOs, athletes, public officials. And you may think, well, what kind of help do they need? These are people that have reached what we often think from the outside, that they've reached the pinnacle of success. They've hit their goals. They're doing what they set out to do, but behind closed doors, they are not realizing the success and the fulfillment in their life that they thought they were going to experience when they reach the point in their life and their business and their career that they have reached. And sometimes it can have some very dramatic effects and results when you work that hard for something and then it's not producing or paying off like you thought it would. Jodie, welcome to Influencers Radio.
Thank you, Jack.
Well, I got to say, and, going through and doing some background on what you do and understanding what it is you do, it really is remarkable from a number of aspects. And I've got to say, if I'm going to be transparent, I probably uncovered a few things that might have been a little sexist myself when I would, to think about these things. And I'm sure that you'll uncover these as well. So what I want to find out first, the folks that you mentioned, and here's a quiz I want to have for the audience. When I just mentioned who Jodie helps, who her clients are, the people that she works with, how many of you immediately thought I was talking about men? Right? And here's what I want you to know. That's exactly who I was talking about. You primarily work with men that are in these fields, and I think we'll discover why, because they have sometimes very different problems than women. But I want to know, what is it that got you here? What is it that unfolded this opportunity for both you and the people that you help really turn themselves around when they've reached that level of success that doesn't turn out to be what they thought it would be?
Well, Jack, my whole life has been really on this journey to be where I am today, standing in this position that I'm standing in and speaking to you. I have continually throughout my life had experiences that have brought me to this place of just continually myself working toward what it means to be successful, what it means to have true wealth, true life, true love, true adventure. And there was a time in my life about 6 years ago where I was kind of looking at my life going, gosh, I'm at this point where I'm pretty freaking successful. I have a husband who adores me. I love my career. I have 2 kids, one on the way, and I'm at the top of my game. I designed my home, built it from graph paper on up, and I felt extremely accomplished as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. And yet inside I felt completely unfulfilled. I felt like something was missing, and there was something I couldn't put my finger on what exactly it was. And then shortly after that, the bottom fell out for me. And my bottom was my husband was accidentally killed during a routine rotator cuff surgery. And I was 15 weeks pregnant with our third child. That was the darkest of dark that I had ever experienced. And I did not want to stay in that place whatsoever. And that was a time where I decided, I made a big decision to stand in this feeling of I am here to live. Like it's either do or we die. And I'm here to live. So I had to be committed to life and love and what it means to experience joy and freedom and all of it that we truly all want. And so for the past 5 years, I've been building toward that and helping others do the same.
Well, it sounds to me, what really jumped out at me is it looked like you were forced to redefine what success really was.
Absolutely.
It looks like you were forced, and from talking to you and seeing what you do, it looks like the folks that you help, because they are, some of them are very high profile. When you talk about, CEOs, athletes, public officials, that a lot of times they may have started this journey defining success and maybe putting a dollar figure on it, that they thought success meant financial. And it sounds like from, what you've been through that, it kind of hits you right in the face that, whoa, that's not necessarily what success is. And it sounds like really the core of what you do is help them understand that what they achieved was not the success that they romanticized about, but the success, I guess, that society is defined as that financial number. Is that what it is about? Is it really come down to redefining what success is for these folks?
It is about redefining. It is about redefining in a financial perspective, and it's also redefining in relationships and in love. We think that we have been bred and born to come to this point like everybody else with the 2 kids and the white picket fence and the house, the car, the toys, the adventures, all of that, and yet we're feeling so lost still, so confused.
Well, one of the things, and the confusion comes into it, and maybe them not being recognized, but I can say one of the common threads that I've seen from a lot of your clients or what the people that you've worked with and changing their outcomes was in relationships, right? Specifically with maybe bad choices. And I've got to say, as a man, there is a point where having financial success can actually create more problems. And we say that create more problems. What's the old saying that a man is only as faithful as his options will allow him to be?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And money creates a lot of options. And so when people think, oh, I feel bad, how can you feel, bad, or how can people with this kind of money, and level of financial success, have all these new problems introduced? But with money comes options. And one of the things that I've seen is a lot of the people, they have failed, not just a failed marriage, maybe failed marriages or failed, number of relationships. Right. And that seems to be some common thread. And I'm sure that having money creates those options for them to, have more selection and, even at a shallow level. Talk about that. What is it that makes that one of those common core problems that you see in a lot of your clients?
Right. So, with money, we can buy anything. We can buy sex. We can even buy love. We can buy, false love. We can buy adventures. We can, we think we're buying freedom. We have all this money to basically put out with whatever we want to, and yet we're still not getting exactly what we truly want, what we truly desire. And I will continue to see that pattern over and over again. Many of my men come to me with this pattern in relationships where, my man actually coined this phrase of Captain Save-A-Hose. And
well, say that again. I want everybody to hear, clear that. Captain
Save-A-Hoe.
All right.
So my men are very successful men. They're very driven in life. They're very driven in career. For my athletes, it's a game to them. Well, even my non-athletes, it's still a game to them. And so they find themselves in these relationships where the woman doesn't have that same passion for life that they do. And, you know, they're trying to buy that happiness. They're feeding her well. They're, you know, buying her fancy cars, buying her fake boobs, you know, buying her beauty, basically.
All the essentials of life, right?
All the essentials of life. And in the meantime, she's at home drinking wine and popping pills to make herself feel better because her man's not telling the truth. And that's the ugly cycle that continues to happen over and over again, because this truth really is that this is not a relationship that I'm supposed to be in.
Well, you know, I may be uncovering a long-held secret, but men sometimes can be lustful creatures, right? And very, very shallow in their choices, right? In choosing women initially based on physical attributes, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so here's where that success, that financial success enters its ugly head, is that guys that may not be successful financially or, you know, reach other success, it's easy to not get into that when it's not an option. It's easy to do that when these people, but a lot of times with guys, when they hit financial success, regardless of, you know, the other parts of their lives, what they look like, what they do, you know, that right there is enough for them to be able to choose women to enter in relationships based on purely physical, attributes. And it sounds to me like once that lustful period is over, or once the excitement or the pheromones or whatever you want to call it wears off, they're finding that they don't have a partner that they can share the excitement or their passions for life with. You said, like you said, you see that always stereotyped in movies and TV where, you know, the guy has the trophy wife that just wants to sit at home and shop and eat bonbons or whatever. And you can see where the passion doesn't match up. Are you saying that kind of life imitates art in that fashion when people, you know, guys reach that kind of financial success and they're able to make those choices, that it's matching up to what we see out there?
Yeah, I mean, completely. That's exactly it. There's one part of it, though, that, you know, that I haven't noticed all the time. Sometimes the sex still really is good. Like a lot of my men who are on their second relationship, their second marriage, or have had a couple divorces, you know, the sex is really a centerpiece. It's really important to men, as it is to us women, too.
I hadn't heard.
However, the sex can be really great still, but that's all there is. That's all there is. And they're now these men, they're grown men. They're at this point where they're like, well, wait a minute, is this truly what I want? Is it truly just the sex? And where I lead them is to this point of they can't have it all.
They
can have the great sex.
Well,
go ahead.
It sounds like they thought that was all, right? It sounds like they thought that you know, what's the old saying, that be careful what you ask for, you just might get it, right?
Right. So work is money and home life is sex.
And
that's it for them.
But and the thing is, it's what it comes down to is when they have this money and it hits them that this is it, then they have to be asking themselves those questions that, you know, why can't I seem to enjoy the success that I've worked hard for? Now they've reached this tangible thing of finances. Now they're chasing this intangible thing of, you know, why can't I seem to enjoy? And the bad thing is it's not tangible. They can't put their finger on it. They can't put their finger on what it is. And it sounds like that's where you come in, that you guide them to put their finger on it, to know why they're not enjoying that success, why they can't find, you know, a woman that shares that passion in life for them, why they can't create that same level of success in other parts of their lives as they do in their business. And that can be a hard pill for some guys to swallow, is that, no, I'm successful. Look what I've achieved. And do you find that it's hard for them to face or accept that maybe they're not that successful, or they need help in these other parts of their lives?
It is difficult. It is a difficult thing to swallow. It was difficult for me. I had a lot of masculine energy before my husband died. So I get it. I get what that feels like. So yes, it is definitely difficult. But once you can lay that down, once you can lay that weapon down and really step into, okay, well, let me try something different because this isn't quite working out. By the time they come to me, they're really ready to put that weapon down.
It does. And that brings me to my next point of, this is where that I had to face some of that sexism is women, men, masculine men, men that have achieved to come to a woman to help them find out these other parts. It reminds me, what was the movie Arthur? You remember that movie Arthur with Dudley Moore?
Yeah.
I remember the one scene where he's sitting at dinner with the woman that was his fiance that he didn't want to marry, right? And she told him, it's going to take a real woman to get you to stop drinking. And he said, it better be a really big woman, right? And that's what it sounds like to me that you're not someone that they come to. I immediately thought, well, maybe she's a shoulder to cry on or something like that.
No.
But it doesn't sound like to hear that at all, that you kind of whip them into shape and let them know what's what. It reminds me of, what's the lady's name on The Millionaire Matchmaker? Patty, right? Patty Stanger.
Right.
I believe, she doesn't take anything. She's lays it out on the line, and it made me understand very quickly how men can, defer to a powerful woman in looking for help. And that's what made me realize, now I see what Jodie's doing. I see how that energy can actually take control, and men will defer that to you. How does that relationship work? I felt that men might be uncomfortable in talking to you or being vulnerable in what they do. Is it difficult to get them to open up about this stuff?
Not at all. It's actually very easy. It's so easy, in fact, that sometimes I feel like, I just have this presence about me. I'll be walking through the grocery store or, wherever in public, or back when I was on dating sites, I will have men just come to me and confess. Like they've never seen me their entire life. Like I'm the priest. Like it's time for confession. But, private one-on-one, my guys, they're ready to speak and they completely trust me. I have this non-judgment about me. It's not my business to judge. It's my business to help you remove any shame that you have around it. So pretty much, you're here to tell me the truth. Let's get to the truth. Let's get her done. That's what it's about.
And that goes back to what we talked about originally is, can you give me an example of what it is, these obstacles they have? We talked about it being, they thought finance was what defines success. Can you give me this example of what happens or how you flip that switch that gets them to see and enlightens them about, this is about, truth. This is about recognizing and accepting, that this is the situation rather than what I thought it was. How does that work?
Yeah. So basically what I see is truth. I see life. And so the opposite of that is death or fear or lack. And what I'm really good at is helping people stop BSing, because we're really, really good at BSing ourselves. We're really good at manipulating our mind in such a way that is not getting us the results that we actually want. And so what I do with them to flip that switch is basically they've been living in the left side of their brain most of their life, right? They have been very logical, sequential, getting their goals met, like right on time, all of that is on that left side of the brain. But the beauty is really on the right side of the brain. The beauty is in creativity. The beauty is in sexuality and spirituality. That's all on the right side of the brain. And what I do is help you strengthen those muscles, because without those muscles being strengthened, we're getting nothing done the way we want it to happen in our lives.
And how often do you uncover, because I've got to say, because of the fact that there's this false, possibly sense of confidence because of the money, or these options for them to pick the wrong women because of the financial success they have. How many, when you start breaking this down for men, do they feel that, wow, if you take away the money, am I the man that deserves to have this all?
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely. A lot of them don't feel, there's this epidemic in our society that gives us a message that we can't have it all, that we're selfish for having it all. And so we will set ourselves up in life, either, not being as healthy as we want to, not being as fit as we want to, or being in the body that we know fits the kind of man or woman that we have come here to be. We will sabotage ourselves in many different ways just to prove that right. And it's totally an accident. That's not really where we want to be. So yeah, there's so many women or men who come to me and they aren't in this place of, okay, I deserve to have it all. But we work through those things.
Well, that's what I say. I was intrigued, and it really kind of made my brain itch when I was looking at your stuff and even on your site, when you talk about how when you work with these folks, you're working with them discreetly. You discreetly work with them. And I thought, what is this discretion? And then I realized now that these are people that, to the public, because they are high in power, they're CEOs, they're public officials, athletes,
right.
That their position or their persona in the public is someone of strength, someone that has self-confidence and knows where they are. And it probably takes a lot for them to, expose and reveal to someone that they aren't as sure of themselves. They're not where they want to be. And then that they don't know why or what it is or where they want to be. And that's when it hit me that, I see where the discretion is. So you work with these folks very, very, I guess, behind the scenes.
Right.
And that's the one thing I noticed, you don't have a lot of, it's probably hard for you to have testimonials for someone that's a public figure to say, I was in shambles. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
They don't want to say that. And so that's where I see now very clearly where that discretion comes in, because, clearly without, naming names, or I don't even know that you work with some people that are in view, in public view, and that people might know of, even if it's, not on a nationwide level, but on their local community level or something like that. Now I see the benefit of why you do that in discretion, and it probably makes a lot more sense for people to come to you knowing that that's the way that you operate with that. Well, I have to say, Jodie, that you are an influencer. Clearly, you're influencing people that not only, need help themselves, but influencing the impact that they have on a lot of the public as well at times. Yeah. So I like to find out, what is it that influences the influencer? What is it that influences you to do what you do, that inspires you to do what you do, that finds its way into your work and benefits the people you work with?
Yeah. Simple as this, life inspires me. I am here to live. It is do or we die. It is, for me, it is just completely moving toward anything that keeps me anything that keeps me growing, anything that leads me to more life. That is a path that inspires me. My husband died. He died, so basically I could live. That's the way I take it. And it is my responsibility to do so. I have 3 girls, and it is my responsibility to lead my girls. And leading takes someone who's committed to life.
It takes Wonder Woman. And I think that's what you've demonstrated today, that to pull this all together, and then not only, for yourself, but to inspire and to help others that find themselves in the situation is not only a tremendous talent, a tremendous gift, and a tremendous, opportunity for people to realize that they haven't made a mistake, that it can be changed, that their whole life, their journey isn't for naught, that there still is an opportunity to live that life that they had thought they were going to get. How can people find out more? How can they find out more about what you're doing, about, what the Chief Lifestyle Agent can do, is doing, and if it sounds like something that they really need, and I think that they know that when they listen to this, how can they find out more?
They can start with coming to find me on thechieflifestyleagent.com.
Thechieflifestyleagent.com. And there's a lot of good stuff on there, and more about your background. That's where, I think it's tremendous. You have quite a background of experiences that I think benefits in what you do for sure. Jodie,
it's crazy.
It is. You know what? It's what have you not done?
We don't know where we're going. It's like it's just such an experience. Life. It's just such a journey, and never would I have ever imagined in my life that I would be doing what I'm doing today.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that are happy that you're doing what you're doing today. So I do want to thank you for coming on and sharing this and letting folks know that there is opportunities and answers out there and solutions to things that, they may not realize that others are facing the same problem. So definitely check out the chieflifestyleagent.com. Jodie, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, Jack. It was my pleasure.
All right, folks, there you have it. Visit thechieflifestyleagent.com. Be inspired. Take that inspiration. Be an influence yourself. And remember, you are the only real game changer.
You've been listening to Influencers Radio. To get all past shows and updates on future shows, visit influencersradio.com today or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/influencersradio.